bridge some of the gaps between other nonprofits. I mean, you know, I understand it's like it is competitive, and sometimes services overlap, and there's enough communities, you know, youth, families, people with disabilities. There's multiple intersecting communities that still need to be served. So no matter the number of nonprofits that we have, in my mind, I don't think we can have enough to provide the need and serve the gap within our community here in Milwaukee.
I mean, I can agree with you more. I mean, but that's all the more the reason for us to collaborate, for us to say, okay, you know what, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, you're a beast. You're huge. And you have, you know, all these incredible spaces where you can serve kids. Well, you know, Running Rebels, you're also a big time player in the market. Your kids intersect. What can they do? You know, rather than Boys and Girls Club having your own basketball league, how about you run all your basketball tournaments through Running Rebels? You know what I'm saying?
You know, it'd be dope. Beyond the Bell. Remember Beyond the Bell?
Yeah.
The app that was created and like the consortium that was created amongst multiple nonprofits came together and created that app that where you can identify different nonprofits in your area. I don't know who picked that up. I know it's the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. I think the executive director there was doing some type of work with that. I think trying to pick that up. But it'll be nice to see like what's all out there again. And I don't want to be redundant with that Beyond the World project, but I think it's something to be aware of, so we can continue to serve our community in the best way we can. And again, collaborate rather. Like use collaborative services. And then the overlapping services, like you mentioned, like you know, Rises and Family Services, agencies like Riverstone, Running Rebels to like assist. Provide some additional direct services to the nonprofits, agencies. Also, I'm thinking about that. Agencies like Global, Pros with Teen Girls. Go ahead.
No. I mean, you, like I said, you know them all. You know what I'm saying? You literally know them all, and the fact that you do, you know, is a true testament that you are in this space and you're in it, you know, for a purpose. You want to be a part of it. You're motivated by the efforts in the city of Milwaukee, and I appreciate that, you know. And furthermore, we want to, you know, promote you and promote that ability to, you know, navigate through this space because, as you said, it is a very competitive nonprofit market, and you and I have had that conversation many times. You know, I felt. In many respects, you know, sometimes I felt disrespected. Sometimes I felt used, abused, not worthy in this space. And, you know, and then when I go elsewhere outside of the market, it's like easy as pie. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, if you can, the old saying about if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. No, it's if you can make it in Milwaukee, you can make it anywhere in the world.
So that's the thing, man. If you think about like so Milwaukee, and I think Milwaukee is very saturated, right? And I think it's saturated with so many great services, and also saturated with like a lot of gatekeepers. So, and then sometimes I think I don't know if spoiled. You know, people get spoiled.
That's right.
And then, you know, you have when you come with, again, your evidence-based practices, showing your results. And granted, you've been highlighted a lot of times. And also, I know there's times where you've been snubbed, you know, or, you know, the process you had to go through.
That's right.
And the process you had to go through just to overcome that. And like you said, and then going outside, like play in Greater Milwaukee or other counties. Because those, like Waukesha County, for example, there's a lot of nonprofits, but not as many as it is in Milwaukee County. And then they would what's the word? They would greatly appreciate the services that you provide. And with the passion and love is in Milwaukee and Milwaukee County. And it's very challenging sometimes. Because I mean, you have to be in some, maybe in the in crowd. You got to be, have to show evidence-based practices, or know somebody that knows somebody. Right. And one of my challenges, I think one of yours was as well, when I moved back to Milwaukee, was that we were not in the in crowd.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That we was part of a different network. We moved back to Milwaukee because we left Milwaukee to get our education, to build business and build our brand, and return back. It's like it's a cultural identity model. It's called, I think it's Nagresen's theory, okay. And it's like it really means to return back to Black. Oh. So we took our talents and wanted to come back to Milwaukee. And many professionals are like that here in Milwaukee. They just want to contribute to the community in the best way they can. But again, you come with all these barriers. So I think that this platform can speak and address some of those barriers and some challenges, and like call in gatekeepers instead of calling out. You know what I mean? Like, we don't necessarily want to have a call out culture, but we want to call in people to have the conversations to equip other people to take over, to establish different things, to liberate people with dignity and unapologetically. So like I'm going on a rant for a little bit, but just I think that rant was necessary just to vaguely speak about some of the challenges and then addressing those challenges in the most practical way. Yeah. So definitely commend you for continuing to push through and find different ways and avenues to push to serve the community the best way you want to, despite the challenges.
David, one of the things that I think that has definitely helped us, with what you said about, going back to Black or serving the communities in which you come from, and the ability to serve outside of the city of Milwaukee, and that coming so easy. While not saying it comes super easy, because they have their challenges as well. I am somewhat unfamiliar when it comes to being even in MBS. There are very few African American led organizations that that aren't huge that have contracts with MPS. I didn't think that was the case. Many times I think that our generation, we kind of ignore some of that stereotypes or the norm. We kind of say, okay, look past it, and maybe it's a condition or whatever it is. But those are the types of conversations that I'm looking for you to have with these directors. The real conversation, and say, hey, this is what we've experienced. This is what I've experienced, in executive roles in nonprofits. What do you feel about that? And actually, I feel like if they can be very candid and direct and honest with these answers, forgive me, it could really help all those other individuals that say, I want to start a nonprofit, and my first thing to say to them is, who can you collaborate with? What I'm saying? Rather than start your own thing, look and see how you collaborate. There's no point of us having 4 hot dog stands on the same corner, selling the same hot dogs. What I'm saying? And like you said, even though we have all these nonprofits, the need far exceeds the nonprofits, and which is the reason we have them all. But it makes it extremely difficult to accomplish the goals and things that we want when you have to fight for dollars and argue about resources that technically you shouldn't have to. It shouldn't be hard. You got to go over. That you shouldn't have to argue about. So, what do you think about that idea that we just said as far as the I don't know why I want to keep calling you Maury Povich. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be you or Dr. Bobby, but perhaps you are the executive director.
I love the idea, man. I love. I would love that, man. It sounds like a great idea. Something I definitely like to execute. Like you said, because the more information people have of knowing how, the better they'll be. I mean, one of the things that I value, one of the people that I value the most when I return to Milwaukee is Al Rupel.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Al Rupel, when he was executive director of Unity Motion. He put things in perspective for me about like working in nonprofit and like understanding like, yo, you need multiple revenue streams. You need, you need, yeah, just basically that's what he broke it down. He broke things down to me to a T. And he took me underneath his wing, and I had a great opportunity to like explore and understand multiple things. And I would love to create these Comer conversations, right?
Yeah, well, I like that. I like that. Comer conversations.
So what's funny about it is that Comer conversations, I actually have those. It's funny. I started with working again where I work at right now, Pathways High School, as a school counselor and teacher. Talking to students, having a platform and space for students to talk, and I provide, not necessarily advice, but coping mechanisms and skills. I think Comer conversations can expand to that to be more broad as well. Because I love to have conversations and thought-provoking conversations and question. I'm not a interview guy by trade. I mean, for a skill set, but I've learned a lot of different, motivational interview tactics as a student in my counseling program. So absolutely, man. I think this would be great for the city, great for people who are interested in starting, learning from other professionals, man. Like it makes me think about I don't know if you've seen those master class series.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like something like that. Like, and necessarily doesn't necessarily need to be a master class, but like many executive directors have climbed the ladder in different ways. And not only executive directors, we got program directors who are people who moved around a couple times, or HR professionals inside, just people who are working in nonprofit in some of those mover shaker roles. I'm thinking like, Safe and Sound, and Bridget Whitaker is coming to mind right now. So like, yeah, man, I would love to move forward with this. So like, what are the next steps? If we're gonna put this in plan and put this in motion, like what will be the next steps? When do you think you want to start this? I know we gotta do the homework of identifying those initial professionals that we want to interview and get their approval and permission and things of that nature. But this is exciting, and I think no time like the present to start planning for it.
So, well, I mean, I could Monica and I can obviously chime in there. Me or myself, I would say the first step, would be to put together that list of nonprofits and directors that you would be interested in rolling out. I would say maybe put together, even if they're retired executive directors, you know what I'm saying? Like Vincent Lyles and, people that have been in that space but then moved on elsewhere, they can still offer a perspective, because it's like, well, Vincent, yeah, you did a great job. This is the things that the Boys and Girls Club accomplished. You were able to increase your revenue for the clubs by X amount of dollars. In addition, because I believe when we first started with the Boys and Girls Club in 2012, that may have been the first year that they got the CLC contract. If I'm not mistaken, because they locked in like maybe 15 schools. If it wasn't then it was within that, 10
yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. So even that, understanding, and for nonprofits, not everyone has that workhorse like the Boys and Girls Club. You're talking about $24 million annual budget organization. Milwaukee's Boys and Girls Club is the largest in the nation.
Yeah,
Boys and Girls Club bigger than. So when we look at that, I think that this could be a great thing. So putting together a list of executive directors. Again, we can chime in on that list. Monica has many professors that she adores and loves. I'm sure will be willing to do anything for her. Vice versa with me, professors, directors, you yourself.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't think about this list, right? And going back to collaborating, I'm pretty sure. Like I've come across multiple people who have like these listservs, you know what I mean? Like these wonderful lists. So I don't, it's going back to collaborating with people, and I'll be definitely, so looking at our networks and see if they like what listservs do they have or
right.
nonprofit directors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure like someone that just think about, like I said, the Greater Milwaukee Foundation might have something to make, you know what I mean?
Right. I agree. I think you know that is, you're right. But in addition, like the executive directors that we know, like you talk about Al or Vincent or people that are Facebook friends that we know run these places.
Yep.
That's our low hanging fruit. So we can
Yep.
get those guys on the line right away.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, exactly. But to follow up with what you said, the reason that's so Gucci, because when you go to the Northwestern Mutuals and say, you know, whomever your contact is, you know, there, and I can do the same thing. We do that and we say, this is what we're doing. This is our idea now. And then we say, and we have X amount of executive directors on the board. Now the conversation can stem into, would we look to, are you willing to fund something like this? You know what I'm saying? We go to Bader Philanthropies. Bader, listen, this is what we're doing. You know, I call Bridget, how many youth service organizations you have on your list? Da, 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 da. I want those executive directors for Coma Conversation. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, let's do that. Well, what's Coma Conversation? Boom, this is what it is. We're actually selling and advertising for it. So I think that, so there's a couple lists from what it sounds like you're saying. We got a list of organizations and groups that already have collaboration. So like a Dominican Center and COA, they sit on one. You got, you know, even CDBG block grant that fund all the, you know, get Steve Mahan on there. How do you make decisions on who you guys are going to fund? You know, get a couple order people, because they're the ones that actually make those decisions. You know, so that those are, you know, groups that we can go to and they can give us people, and they can also give us resources to support our efforts. The low-hanging fruit are the Vincent Laus, the lady from Rise, Al, professors that we have, stuff like that, that we know will do anything we ask them to do. If we just call them and say, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what I need. Okay, what does that look like? Okay, that looks like we need one Zoom call, and if they're local, we're gonna do face-to-face interview, set it up really nice, have the recording crew out here, put you guys under a tent and do it right here in the garden. So it's a social space. I got microphones, all that jazz. So yeah, so I'm glad you asked, you know, as far as the steps and, you know, how we're gonna, you know, do this, you know, get that list, send out emails between the three of us. We'll all be CC'd, get those emails out so we can schedule those Zoom meetings to those who commit. Once those Zoom meetings are set, then, you know, we follow up with them and say, okay, we got this Zoom meeting. This is what the process is going to look like. We'll talk about what we're doing, our ideas, because this is the production here. So this is what they're doing in the back office, you know, and they're saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. These are the questions that we're going to have, so they're not blinded, you know. So I guess after the list, the second step or the first step would probably be coming up with the questions that we're going to ask. Because they would be generic questions. However, each director is going to elaborate and dive in a little more, and, you know, other questions can stem off of that. But I think we should have at least about 25, 30 questions that were the standard questions that we're going to ask. We may not even get to all those questions, but because they got started talking about other stuff, but at least we can get, you know, have our game plan to give them. Then we come with the list. With the list of people that we're going to contact, individuals, low-hanging fruit, and organizations. Then we start low-hanging fruit. We get that done. We reach out to the organization second. Say we're looking for executive directors. We're looking for funding. This is how much it costs. Da, 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 da. Third step, we do the Zoom call, or the email is third step. Fourth step is a Zoom call. Fifth step is actual interview out here, and then it's published. And if we can do the interviews, like say we have them set for, say we only give 2 time slots. We'll say, you know, a time slot for the Zoom call. That way we can know that all 3 of us will be on there, and it works for all of our schedules. And then we'll have 2 set times for the interviews. You know, one that they could do in the evening that works well for your schedule, David, and that doesn't have to work for our schedule. You know what I'm saying? Because we got the guys that can come and do the production, so on and so forth. All you gotta do is show up, be ready, and have the person there. So those are, I would think those are the steps. What do you get? Anything that I miss? Anything that we can add? I'm gonna grab the extension cord.
You got cut out at the end there, but I think were you asking me if I wanted to add anything?
Yeah, just checking on if there's anything that Brandon listed that if there's anything extra that we should put on that list. I think I wrote almost all of them down.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah. No, I can't think of anything at the moment.
Okay.
But you know, I'm pretty sure when we roll this out and start executing things, we'll see some gaps or see some ways to refine and improve what we're doing, especially if something that we've never done before.
True.
So I think that I can't think of anything at the moment, but I'm pretty sure it will come up as we move forward.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, well.
Actually, the question I do have, how long should we have the segment for episodes? What do you think? I'm thinking about attention span, screen time, you know.
Yep. We've been, at least with like some of the videos we've put out so far for PeppTV, like we aim for like at least around 30 minutes. And like since we're like when we throw out the ideas, we're like 30 minutes or to an hour. But like you just brought up, we have to keep in mind the attention spans that, you know, sometimes maybe it'll be easier to go for a whole hour and keep everyone attuned and attentive to what's being discussed for the Q&A, but at the same time, like finding that sweet spot, which, like you said, you know, maybe we start off with a goal time range for the videos, and then after a few, then we can reevaluate that and be like, okay, well, maybe that's too short, or we can go longer, or we're going too long, we can make them a little shorter or something like that. So
yeah. That'll probably be some of the production with the production team will be a part of and evaluating as well.
Right.
I ask, yeah, I mean, I would love to pilot this. You know, like you know, we can pilot this, and could you guys write up like an invitation, you know, like a generalized invitation to come with conversation, or is that something that you guys want me to do?
I mean, we could definitely help with it. I could you know, at least put the shell out there, and then, or you know, I think that we both understand the idea. I think that it would be more personal if you just at least started it with like, you know, more of like a letter format. So if you can give me like, you know, introduction, kind of like, hello, Alan. Hope all is well. You know, because technically, whatever we put in that like letter, you know, I'm thinking since you mentioned that, we can, you know, do like we're doing with Pep Nation. So we'll send that in the email. Basically the content in the email, the actual language, it's the same as this letter that you're talking about. So the language in the email is, you know, good afternoon, Alan. I contact you on behalf of PeppTV, David Comer, and the Comer Show, which will highlight local nonprofits, CEOs, executive directors, and presidents here in Milwaukee County initially. Okay, something like PeppTV is positive, educational, productive programming, which is, you know, here for the purpose of entertaining families, youth, and young adults all over the world. This effort is, you know, the reason we're reaching out to you or something like that is because we would like to highlight you, and it will blank, your organization will plug that in. So Alan and Emoji, or is it Emo? Wait, Umoji.
No, it's Unity Emotion now. We're talking about
Unity Emotion, yeah.
Got
to plug those names in there. So we write you today to invite you and your organization to participate in the Coma conversation. You know, and it's kind of repeating what we said in the beginning. But I think that alone could give us, you know, definitely what we need that letter. I think that's good. And then in addition, we can print that letter off. I'll sign it. Monica sign it. You sign it. You know, just send us. You know, Monica can work on that today. Sending us her signature. You send me your signature, and I can just pop those into that letter, and then we can mail those letters out to those individuals. So now they're getting a hard copy. It's nice to get a letter from someone, you know, with the logos on there, all three of our signatures, so on and so forth. So I think that'd be really cool. So yeah, I honestly would like to, if we can get this rolling now rather than later, hell, I could be the first executive director that you interview, you know what I'm saying? Or president, CEO, whatever, you know, and then I can definitely get Sister Patricia to be the second. So we know that we at least have two people that, you know, we can get the ball rolling. And then that, you know, like I heard you guys talking about the length. You're right, that is production, that is trial and error. But at the same time, we go a 30-minute episode and it's live. Then we take that live episode, we save it, and then we split that up into two. And then we just do a little, when we do the interview, we'll do a little piece on you, recording you saying, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back. Join us next time. Or that's all we have for the day. You know, do a couple of those. So we just plug that into the point where we cut it. You know, join us next time. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for next week, Thursday, because we're going to have the continuation, the second part of this interview will be broadcasted. You know, we can play with it. Because you're right, attention spans do get lost. But you never know. Because you know, the cool thing is that Vincent Lyles may say, oh, okay, yeah, I'm all for this. And he got 5,000 friends, and then he's promoting it every day, you know, that week. Like, hey, come follow, come watch this. I'm about to do a live interview. And now we have, you know, 5,000 people that are following him and watch the interview. So yeah, I think it's good.
So to clarify, the idea is that they're live sessions, not pre-recorded.
Both.
Okay.
When we're low on programming options, at least for these first couple of weeks, you know, we just go live like we're doing now, and then this is a program segment. You know, so we can do that. But because the cool thing is because when we upload it to YouTube, because it's live on Facebook, when we upload to YouTube, then, you know, that's when we can chop it up and make it two different parts. You know, it's always going to be there. Bless you.
Thank you. Just making notes.
You know, what's also an option, that we can get to the director as well to say, you know, are you okay with this live interview? Or would you like us to, you know, record it and edit it and post it, you know? But the hopes is that everyone that does it, so they post it on their Facebook page for the organization, personal page. You know, one thing that I always like to do when I'm recording or going live on these interviews, I go to my other device and then I'll share it from my Facebook, the live interview from PeppTV. And because I'm using both of my devices, I wasn't able to do that today, but that way, people that are on my friends, they'll be like, oh, what is this? And they click on it, and then they automatically PeppTV page. And I put on there, hey, make sure you like, subscribe, etc. So, and the other reason we do the YouTube piece is because once we post it on YouTube and then put that link on the Facebook, when they click on the link, it sends them straight to YouTube. So it's like there shouldn't be an excuse not to subscribe.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so how would just getting this language down, what would be the benefit for the interviewee?
Okay, so for the customer itself, I mean, the benefit is so really the benefit is a couple things. You are the benefit. So you're saying, you know, hey, I've been knowing you guys, I've been knowing you for years, or, you know, I'm really fond of what you do. I've worked in the nonprofit sector for, 15 plus years here in Milwaukee County, you know, and by us having this interview, we can use this effort to, we can use this as another way to promote your effort. I know that, you know, because of COVID-19, especially if it's a place like the clubs where kids have to come to them, you know, I know because of COVID-19, it's tough to, you know, do the engagement, but using this platform, we hope to, send more people your direction, identify additional resources that can help you, you know, so, when we started doing our programming at COA, you know, Hippie and Abraham was one of our sponsors. So, the guy, I forget his name, that runs COA, he saw that he was coming up to the site, so he called him up and asked him if he wanted to be on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, but that's the type of deal that this is. So it's like, you know, we can align our resources to another benefit. You know, we can identify grants together. And the biggest piece, I think, overall is we're going to use all of our resources, all of our social media platforms to promote your organization and you know, for an entire week. So whenever your show is going to post, we're going to promote it, and we encourage you to do the same. You know, and so, another piece, we have a global organization. You know, Pep Nation is global. So having that reach, now we're able to say, hey, we have a global reach that can possibly get us additional resources. We're supported by the city of Milwaukee, so we got city funding. If you haven't gotten the CDBG block grant, these guys have gotten the CDBG block grant for 5+ years. You know, maybe they can help on that, so on and so forth. So it's all about, you know, I think the biggest benefit, like you said, is this is to promote you and your organization and the incredible work that you're doing. And we're going to do it through, you know, 4 social media platforms, as well as, commercials, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Send us your logo. We can, upload those to the video as like a watermark and stuff like that. So there's ways for us to do it, but the biggest piece, like you said, for the customer is to promote their efforts in the city of Milwaukee, positive efforts, and the efforts of their organization.
Right on. All right, man. So, what's our timeline? What we're thinking with the next couple of weeks? We got a month. Or what are we talking about?
Well, I mean, we're talking next week. You know, we can get, like I said, we can start, if we want to start with me, or we start with Sister Patricia, or I know like the principal over there at Hopkins, she's always interested in it. I know I can get the principal at Benjamin Franklin. She'll jump on board because they need a lot of resources. So getting those individuals on board, I think, could be really cool. So if we can start next week, and as far as low-hanging fruit, you can use myself or a couple other people, principals or stuff that I know to get started. I say we do that. So if you can send over just any thoughts you have about that letter, I can work on that letter to get it done here by Monday, or hopefully by this weekend. Like, send it over to you, and then we can start sending it out to executive directors. So that list that you can create, work on that this weekend. I'll work on mine. Monica, hers as well, of different leaderships, different leaders that we know throughout the U.S. And then, I would say if a week from now, if we can be in the garden and recording at this time next week, Friday, would be outstanding. That would far surpass my expectations. Naturally, I always like to say, 2 to 3 weeks, but this isn't rocket science. I think this is, like I said, it's in your wheelhouse, so we can go ahead and knock it out. Shoot, we're good. I would say let's get ready to record next week. I'll send it over to Brandon, who has some of the production equipment. You can come over this weekend, tonight, see what the layout looks like. We can play with the weather and stuff, and just, if it rains, I'm cleaning out the house here on 18. We can do it inside of some empty rooms here, or outside in the garden is always nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, next week we'll be recording. If we can record next week, that'd be great.
All right. So what I'll do, I'll draft up a letter. So we clarify, I draft up a letter, an invitational letter.
Okay.
I'll get that to you guys, not tonight, tomorrow morning. I'll develop some questions. I think I'm gonna do probably develop 7 to 10 questions.
We'll throw some questions in there too. Once we get yours, we can add to it, and we can do that.
Mm-hmm. And then go from there. So, and we're only targeting nonprofit leaders, people in nonprofit. Is that the thing, or?
I mean, that's what I was thinking. Just because I know what's in I know you have a lot of reach with them, but I would say no. I would say open it up to all CEOs and leaders and things of that nature.
Okay.
Actually, we'll highlight the nonprofits even more. But if you, I would say anyone that's an owner or leadership of a business would be great.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'm glad that I got that clarifying question, because there's some dope people that we know personally that are owners, operators, CEOs of businesses that I'm thinking about Lauren Todd. I think her agency is called Comprehensive Wellness, I think. She's a therapist. So I definitely want to highlight, again, local for-profit, nonprofit business owners and operators to talk, because I think both of those journeys are similar, but they're different. They are completely different. So you being an owner or creator or of an agency is one thing, but then once the road split, even though they may overlap at times, it may be parallel, but they split at some point in time because of the grind and the work that you have to do. Either way, I think all of being a business owner and running a nonprofit requires grind and work and networking anyway. So like I said, lots of parallels, but I'm glad that we are going to be open to people in general who are owners and operators and CEOs of their agencies. That's good.
Yeah. It worked out quite well.
Mm-hmm.
Shedding some light on the process and how their past experiences can hopefully help somebody else hoping to go either of those routes, but starting their own.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be dope if we can I think eventually I would like to see almost like two productions in one, almost if the segments are 30 minutes and then we split them to 15, but then we have 15 minutes for profit, and then there's another 15 minutes like a nonprofit, just to show the parallels and know the different processes.
Do you know where the lotion and
I'm sorry, my daughter's asking me a question. Go ahead.
Do you know where the lotion and baby's underwear are?
Oh, baby underwear are inside the dryer. Lotion should be in the bathroom. If not, there's what's it called?
Vaseline.
Vaseline. There you go. Vaseline in the bathroom. You can get it as well. You're welcome. Thank you. Big sister of yours. Big sister that you are. Yeah, so that's another thing. I'm a father, like I told you. One of the things I'm very passionate about is being a father. So yeah, it's cool, man. I'm liking this. Okay.
Me too.
A lot of work to do in a small time frame, but we'll make it work. we'll make it work. Low hanging fruit, like Brandon said, we'll be to interview him regarding Pep Nation. I think of some other people as well that we can knock this out. Yeah, knock this out. I'm done. This is very exciting. I'm a little nervous, but I think those nerves are rooted in the right place. Definitely rooted in the right place. So y'all have to come by. Where's the garden at again?
It's over at on 18th and Locust at the exact address is 2913 North 18th Street.
All right, so we'll do that. I'm probably gonna swing by just to see the area so I can get comfortable. Yeah, not necessarily. Yeah, just getting comfortable with knowing where I'm at. I think I know exactly where it's at. Actually, I know where it is. I'm tripping.
Yeah, right next to Hafthullah. I always trip on the pronouncing it, but Hafthullah Lutheran Church.
Yeah. So yeah, no. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. I'm down with that. That's cool. Okay. All right. Well, you guys have my contact information. Shoot me a phone call, text, or email. If you guys have any questions, but I'll be probably sending you the letter later on today, and we'll go from there.
That sounds awesome.
I appreciate you, Miss Monica. Wait, not Monica. Is it Monica?
Yep.
That's what I thought. I almost called you Monique, and I was like, wait, it's not Monique, it's Monica. Right? So, all right. So, yeah, we'll go from there. Like I said, give me a call. I appreciate this opportunity to collaborate, and I love the brainstorming. I love collaborating with people and brainstorming, looking at these possibilities that we can make and create, pilot this out, knock this out, and grow. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I feel like just in this this call right here, I myself have learned a lot. I didn't realize some of the things you two were talking about nonprofits in the area and such. I was like, how much there really is in just like the Milwaukee area, and then I knew about like some of the different like competitive aspects of it, but like learning even more from both of you has been very educational in the past like hour or however long this has been. Yeah.
Right. And you know what's crazy about it is that, Brandon and I mean, there's so many people inside the city of Milwaukee that know so much more about nonprofit agencies. I think that's why this platform of having these conversations about nonprofits is interesting and is exciting, because what one person knows, another person sometimes doesn't. And it can benefit them or other nonprofit agencies and also individuals. So talking about professional development inside those nonprofit agencies are things that you didn't know. Because one of the things I didn't know a lot when I entered into the world of nonprofits as a program director. I learned by mistakes, learned by doing, and even now to this day, I sit back like, I remember I did that. It probably wasn't the greatest thing, or man, I did that and that was pretty awesome. And you don't have to learn that way. We don't have to always learn by doing, and that's why I'm excited about this platform, because the professionals inside the arena of nonprofit can provide their expertise, their growth and some of their pains, and then it can ignite another wave of individuals that's happening right now, that's occurring right now, who are interested in developing nonprofits to address some of the many issues that are manifesting as a result of our current climate in here in Milwaukee. So very exciting, very exciting. So I look forward to talking to you guys later. Get going, so I have to go make it into another appointment. So I'll talk to you guys soon, and you guys are hearing from me by the end of the day today. Okay?
Great. I look forward to it.
All right. You will.
Have a good one.
Mm-hmm.